Hello everyone, welcome back to Mira's Corner, the podcast. Today we'll be having our second episode on the podcast, and I'm so excited to be here again. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all fine and in good health. So this week it's the mental health week actually. This week we are in right now, and I thought that what better way to celebrate this week than to talk on mental health awareness or mental health basically. So today I'll be speaking on how to improve our mental health. Improving our mental health basically. So I will start first of all by defining what mental health is. Several times we hear people say, oh, mental health this, mental health that, but we don't even know what exactly is this mental health. So I'll be defining what mental health is. Now the thing is, when I was making a research for this, I actually came across this definition that I really loved, and I would like to share it with us. So it says mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities and can cope with the normal stress of life, and also can work productively and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So that is what mental health is. And understanding now that it's basically like our life and how we're able to balance it socially, mentally, and with the environment we're in as well. Understanding these facts, we could see that there are different things that could come in a way that could affect our mental health. It could be growing up, like childhood trauma, childhood abuse. It could be loneliness. It could be like a feeling of neglect. It could be discrimination. Different things can affect our mental health. Even things as little as stress could cause, could affect our mental health, to cause a switch in our mental health. So today I'm just going to be discussing ways in which I feel we could improve our mental health no matter what happens to us. So I'll be going into it right now. And please, for the sake of the video I'm shooting for YouTube, I'll be looking down into my book here, so in case. So let's just get right into it. So first of all, the first way by which you could improve your mental health is to value yourself. What do I mean by valuing yourself? Like, you hear people say take care of yourself, but do you actually know how it is to care for yourself? Do you know how it is to take care of yourself? Valuing yourself simply means taking care of yourself. The way you hold other people in high value, the way you care for other people, do you practice that same care on yourself? Do you show that same care to yourself? So valuing yourself basically is like treating yourself right, treating yourself with love, respecting yourself, and not being too hard on yourself. Sometimes we do something wrong and we tend to criticize ourselves. We'll go hard on ourselves, like, oh, you shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. So valuing yourself means you not being too hard on yourself when such things happens. So even if things don't go as planned, take a step back and calm down and realize that you are human. Love yourself as you will love someone else. It's not only to give someone else love, but you should also love and value yourself. Then another step by which you could improve our mental health is self-care. Self-care is basically like taking care of yourself. It's like, you might ask now that what is the difference between self-care and valuing yourself. In self-care, you practice, it's like actively practicing self-care. How do you do this? It's little things such as exercising, taking care of your body, taking care of your health, eating the right food, taking the right meal, like just basically caring for your body. It's sitting down to meditate. It's these little things that on a normal day we'll look at it and say, oh no, it's not my thing. It's just little things that matter. So self-care, take yourself out on a treat, exercise more, take care of your body, dress yourself nicely. All these little self-care tips are things that we should learn to practice in order to improve our mental health, because when we care for ourselves, we'll definitely feel better about ourselves and be in a better mood about ourselves. Another step is to take a break if needed. Sometimes when our mental health is affected, it could be due to stress, it could be due to feeling overwhelmed, and this will cause us to like almost have a mental breakdown sometimes. So sometimes just take a step back and take a break, take a vacation if you need to, or if you are able to afford a vacation at that time. Affording it means either you have the money, or if you are allowed at that moment to have a vacation, if your work or school permits, have a vacation if you may, if you can do this. So just take a break from everything that is stressing you, take a breather, and just go out of what you're doing, go out of that environment. If it is school, take a break from reading for like maybe a day or 2 days till you feel better, and then you come back to what you're doing. Then another step we could take to improving our mental health is self-assessment. Here we should try to understand ourselves, understand what is going on, understand why we feel the way we are feeling. Yeah, so we should understand why we're feeling the way we are feeling and see if it's something that we could work on. As I said earlier on in taking a break, it could be something from school that is stressing you out. It could be a deadline at your job that is affecting you, and because you're yet to meet that deadline. So just try to assess yourself and see what is going on, what the problem is. Try to find out the problem, and then also you try to see if you can find a solution. And in finding the solution, that is another step to achieving a better mental health. Find a solution to your problem. So in finding the solution, it could be you trying to go back to the beginning of where you started from to assess what went wrong, or it could be you going out to seek help, to seek assistance in what you're doing that is causing you to have the stress that is causing like a shift in your mental health. And then another step is to do something you're good at, or things that make you happy. you know like the our day-to-day life has gotten to a point where we are trying to chase after what we want, we lose sight of what it actually is, or what our life actually is. I'll cite an example here. Like for example, you could see let's say for school, for example, while you're chasing after the mark, you're chasing after a good certificate, you forget to have fun, you forget to do the things that make you happy, because your timetable is so tight. Once you're done with class, you have to prepare for the next class, or maybe you're writing an exam, or you have a lot of job on your table, so you don't even take out time for yourself to do the things that you love, and you become bored, but you keep on going because you have a goal in mind, which is to complete school, or to finish your work, or finish your project. And in so doing, it causes like a mental stress, because your brain is just working, your mind is working, it's working, but it's not taking any break, or it's not resting, or having any fun activity to make you feel better. Yeah, so I won't be able to go deep into like how fun activities help, but they really do help. So do the things that you love doing. If you like something as simple as cooking, go and cook. Cooking is actually therapeutic, I will tell you. So if it's cooking you love doing, if it's to go out and have like a nice time with your friends, if it's to just take a walk, just do something you love doing. Some people even love like to sew clothes. So if that is what will make you feel better, just do something that you know that when you do it, you're going to feel happy at that moment, you're going to feel good about yourself. And just like do your favorite things. If it's to eat your favorite meal too, if it's going to make you feel good. Some people like just a cup of ice cream when they are stressed will make them feel better, and they will calm down at that moment they're having the ice cream, and there they're taking a break, they are taking what they love. So you could see doing the things you love could help you feel better about the situation you are in. Another step is to reduce drinking and smoking. Now you may ask, like, what is the correlation between mental health and drinking and smoking? But it's not far from each other. Many times people, when they have problems or when they are faced with challenges, they turn into their bottle of drinks, or into their maybe their smoking, or into their cigarettes as a companion to make them feel better. Yeah, so they turn into these things to help them feel better. And at that moment when they drink or they smoke, they actually do feel better. I don't know how it works, but they're able to forget about their problem, and now you'll be like, oh yeah, so their problem is solved, so why should they stop it? But here is the thing, this is only like a momentary solution. It's just a temporary thing. It's going to pass, and when it passes, the problem you were facing before you drank or before you got high and all that will come back, and it may even now come back in full effect. Like it's going to even be more than the previous time. So it's better for you to not run away from your problem and console yourself with drinking. It's better for you to go on straight and assess the problem rather than hiding in your bottles or whatever you have. So during this period, it's not the period for you to drink or smoke or any of that. And then another way to improve our mental health is to set realistic goals. I will link it again to job and school because that is something that I feel like everyone listening can relate to. So if you're not working, then maybe probably you're in school. One of the two is something that I feel like every one of us here will be able to relate to. So set realistic goals depending on what is the cause of your problem, actually, because some people it's not about goals. Some people can't even assess why they are feeling down or why they are depressed or why there is a shift in their mental state. Yeah, some people can not actually assess that, and I'll be coming to that later. But now, in the case where you can assess yourself and see that this is what is causing my problem, if you could see that, oh, it is my school that is causing my problem, if you could see that it is my job, it is the deadline I have, it is the goal I set for myself that is causing my problem, then what you should do is to set a realistic goal. And in setting a realistic goal, what you have to do is to see how you can achieve what you want to achieve. Like, how will I achieve this? What steps will I achieve? Will I put in place to achieve this goal? So these are the things you should consider, and you should not in setting a realistic goal. Let's say you have a deadline in front of you. You should not now put the pressure upon yourself that, oh, I must finish this by this deadline. Yes, you should work towards the deadline, but in putting pressure upon yourself, you're going to become overwhelmed. So that's something we should look at when we're setting our goal. We should set a goal that we can work with and that is achievable and that will bring optimal results. So like, make a goal, set a goal, make your plan according to the goal you want to achieve, the plan that will take you to that goal, and make sure it's something that will work with the time you have before you, and also stick to it. It's one thing to set a goal and it's one thing to follow that goal, the plan you made to achieve that goal. So set a plan and follow through to it. And while doing it, make sure you don't put pressure on yourself, because you're just going to have a burnout or get overwhelmed and stop altogether, which does not solve the problem. Then another step to this is practicing mindfulness. And here I'll be defining what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is simply a type of meditation where you assess what you're feeling at the moment, just to help you be aware of your mental state at that moment. And now, some ways by which you could practice mindfulness is paying attention. Basically, paying attention. I'm sure we have seen like posts online on social media where they'll say the phone generation, they basically don't know what is happening around them because the head is always embedded in their phones. Yeah, so now in practicing mindfulness, you're paying attention to everything that is happening around you. You are living and enjoying the moment. You are absorbing everything. If you're eating a food, you are tasting everything. Your senses are working and tasting everything in the food. That is as simple as mindfulness can go. So it's paying attention to everything around you, absorbing every little detail around you, so that when something goes wrong, you'll be able to know where things went wrong from. It's all connected to each other. Another step is living in the moment and enjoying life. Remember when I said, when we have a goal or when we have a plan, like for example for school, we are all, our head is in that one place that we are going to, like, this is what I want to achieve. I want to finish school. I want to get my certificate. And in doing that, you forget other things. I can testify to that at a point in my life, I was all focused in school and passing my tests and doing well in class so that I could get my certificate and be done. And in so doing, I forgot about other parts of life, like social life, and all, I put it in one place. Like I separated everything. But here, in practicing mindfulness, we have to try to enjoy every moment. While you're in school, you should enjoy that moment and also leave time to enjoy other moments that come with life, like spending time with your loved ones, going out to see the environment, just enjoying everything around you and living in the moment. Another way to practice mindfulness is to accept yourself. I'm sure at one point in our life, maybe not everyone, but most people, one at one point in their life, they go through, like, will I call it self-condemnation? I won't say self-condemnation, but that point where you're not pleased with yourself, and you're like, oh, I wish I was like this, I wish I was like this person, or there is a particular model of how you would have loved to live your life, but it didn't go that way. So, in practicing mindfulness, you have to accept yourself for who you are and try to make yourself better. And if you can't make that situation better, then live with it and enjoy the moments. Accept yourself. Because if you don't accept yourself, you always feel bad about yourself. You always feel like you are not enough. You always feel sad about the fact that you think there is a problem with you. So you have to accept yourself and accept the whole package that is you. Another way to practice mindfulness is another way to practice mindfulness is breathing, and this comes in handy in case of anxiety. Like when you're anxious about something, just breathe, calm down, like sit down and for a minute breathe in and breathe out. You would see how it's going to help you. Like when you're tensed about something, don't get agitated, because in getting agitated you're only spoiling your mood. So just sit down and breathe in and breathe out, and you'll be fine. It's going to be fine. Just while breathing in and out, just say it's going to be fine and believe it as you say it. It sounds funny. Even as I'm saying it, I'm like, okay, what are you saying? But it actually happens. It actually works. I've done this, like when I want to write some test and I'm like, God, I'm not prepared as I feel I should be prepared, Or when I feel tensed about something, I actually calm down, I sit down, breathe, and say to myself, it's going to be fine. No matter what happens, it's going to be fine. Another way we could also improve our mental health is to switch up the routine. And what do I mean by switching up the routine? Especially in this COVID period now, I'm sure our life has been moving in a routine. Like for me, for example, I wake up in the morning, I have my class, then I have my lecture, and then I go about doing other things. But I'm still in the house. It's still the same one routine. There's no difference. There's nothing to make it like different from yesterday or tomorrow. It's the same practice all along through the months and through the coming months. So what you can do if you feel like you're bored and it's affecting you, you're feeling bored, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling some kind of way because of your routine, you could switch things up. If you can, you could switch things up. Like maybe you include an additional activity to your day. You could include like taking a walk out or seeing new places if you're able to. I know in this COVID period we're not able to move around so much as would have loved to, but if you're privileged to go see new places, if you are on holidays, you could change your environment by going to a neighboring town or a neighboring city. Just try to go to new restaurants, eat new food. It's a way to spice things up and make yourself feel better. Another way is to pray about it. Yes, I would never leave prayer out of anything I'm doing, because it is one way by which I know that things will be solved. Because there are some times where you have tried everything that you can think about, everything that you could actually think about. Like you have tried everything basically, like all these things I've listed, you have actually gone through this process, but it's not helping. One thing you can do is to pray about it, talk to God about it. And when you're talking to God about it, if you need to cry. Actually, crying is therapeutic. I always tell people crying is therapeutic. When you feel like you're burdened about something or about someone, there is this burden like in your chest, or there's this burden in your heart about a situation, what you can do is to pray about it and talk to God about it. While praying, you should also like have the faith that things will get better and work towards it. So it's not just about praying. You don't just pray and then you go sit down and say, okay, I've prayed, so yes. No, sometimes, yeah, God's so good, you could just pray and then you get an answer. But also there is the will I say your posture or your position after praying. You should have faith that things will work out. Believe that it's going to work for you. Believe that your prayers will be answered. That is after talking to God about it. And also, if there are steps you need to take, if there is something you need to put in place, go do it and believe that things will work for your good. Then another thing we could do to improve our mental health is to talk about it. So this step actually is in line with having good people around you, because you don't just go talking about your situation to anybody. That's the fact. If you want to be realistic, you don't just go share your problem with anybody, because these days you could share your problem with the wrong person and that person is going to go talk or rat you out. And that's life for you. But then you could talk to someone about it. You could have like maybe a close family member or a friend or even a confidant, a mentor that you like talk to from time to time. So if you have such people, then good, you could talk to them about how you're feeling. And since they know you well, yeah, that's the key point. Know you well, because if you go talk to someone that doesn't know you, the person can give you an advice that you follow, and it's going to even be worse than if you are not spoken to them. So speak to a confidant that knows you well and will advise you as they feel is right, or they will assist you as they feel you need. So have good people around you that you could always go to if you have something in your mind, like pour out your mind to or your heart to them, and they would be there for you. They would advise you on how they think you should go, and they would even be there to help you through the process. So now the final point I'll be speaking on is to ask for help. So if you've done all these things, you've practiced mindfulness, you have switched up your routine, you have started doing things you love doing. If you have followed all these processes and you even spoke to someone close to you and you feel like you still need help, please seek help. That's just the basic advice I would give you. Seek help. Most people believe that when you go see a therapist, maybe you're mad or you're going crazy or you're losing it. Basically, that's what people will believe when you say, oh, I'm going to see the therapist. But no, you don't have to necessarily be going crazy before you go see a therapist. That is what they are there for. That is what they were made for you to go and speak to them, and they will help you in ways that they see fit. And some people will be like, oh, it's only a weakling that goes to see a therapist. No, it's actually strength for you to pick up yourself and say, I'm going to see a therapist, because that means that you have assessed yourself and you're saying that you really need help and you have accepted to look for help. So that is actually a big strength. So try to talk to someone that will be able to help you. Sometimes it may require treatments, it may require a process within weeks or within a period of months where they'll put you on therapy. But go for therapy, talk to someone. Don't wait till things get worse. Don't wait for the time when you cannot take it anymore. That is why we see some certain news of like people harming themselves and all that, because they did not speak to someone. So I saw recently a tweet about a young boy. May God bless his soul. This boy was, I don't know what he was going through, but through the tweet it was putting it out there that he was writing a suicide note and was saying bye. He even made a tweet about him making his last YouTube video, and he did that exactly. So it was like he was counting down to his death. And the thing that happened was it was a new Twitter account, so he didn't even really have much followers because he lost his old account. So I feel like if he had, instead of him to speak to someone, he was tweeting about it, but people didn't see it till after it had happened. So that's the problem. Go speak to someone. Don't just assume that someone will see it and maybe speak to you. Speak to someone. Seek help. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't wait till you can't process your thoughts or your mind anymore. Don't let things get out of hand before you go seek help. See someone, talk to someone, and never forget that you are loved. whatever you're going through, whatever may be happening in your life, you are loved. Like, you are loved and you are cherished. That is just the truth. You might feel like people don't love you, and that's the thing. Sometimes you feel like no one cares about you. You feel like no one is there. You are not cherished, but the truth is that you're really cared for. That's the problem. It's when people go, you see. It's when people die, you now see people commenting and saying, "Oh, I really care about this person," and people want, it makes you wonder, like, didn't you care about this person when the person was alive, or why didn't you show this love to the person when the person was alive? So just know that they care about you. They might not be there at that moment, but you are loved and you are cared for, and God also loves you. Jesus loves you. So please take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. Try to be in a better frame of mind. Suicide is never an option. Killing yourself is never an option. Hurting yourself is never an option. Harming yourself is never an option. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. And always be in a good state of health. Yeah, so I didn't think it would be this long. So I don't know if I'm going to be putting it into two parts or I'll just leave it as one. And I feel like I didn't explain some points deeply, but still, I'm hoping that this little talk will make a difference in someone's life. Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening. Until the next time on this podcast, stay blessed, remain blessed. I love you. And as I said, God loves you too. Bye.